I've always been a musician. I grew up, singing in church, in the church choir, and like I played clarinet. I'm a classically trained clarinetist, and I play jazz clarinet, and I played jazz in an ensemble all over Houston. I played on Showtime at the Apollo, on tour when it came to Houston, like jazz and all that. That was like always a really big part of me. And then, I went to high school and I started doing musical theater. And then that's where I was like, oh, I really love musical theater, like so much. And I kept on doing it. Like I went into the Air Force after that, and I just kept on doing it like year after year after year. It's so good to work with someone who like isn't trying to turn you into something other than what like your true potential is. You know what I mean? Like just she's just pushing me to be more me. And that's so refreshing. Two of the biggest things that I learned that I use over and over again, and I tell people when they come to me for advice, is like, you're gonna in the beginning you're gonna play with a lot of things because you don't really know what your content looks like. It's kind of like it's like a new artist, like you're trying to find your style or whatever. But once you try a bunch of different things, like zero in on what is the most successful and just keep on replicating that. Just keep on, because like I started doing like, I was doing like comedy videos and stuff, before I blew up, and they were, they got okay views. But when I started doing anime, that's when it blew up, and I was like, well, that's not the niche that I expected to fall into. But hey, if that's where I'm successful, then let me stay here. And so I stayed not just in anime, but I stayed in one particular show, My Hero Academia, and people were like, "Don't you watch any other anime? Don't you watch any other show?" Fucking fanboys and shit. And I ignored them. I was like, I'm just sticking to My Hero Academia. And then I branched out after I hit like 100,000, because like now I have more freedom to play around because now I have a following. So that's what I tell everyone is like, pick like identify those traits of the videos that work, like whether, like if dancing seems to be getting them, or like if, there's a certain effect or something that you use, or like a certain like pace of a video, of like a certain pace that it goes at, that it has in common. Like just find all of the most successful videos, group them together, and just see like what do these have in common, and then just keep replicating that every single time you post. And then later on, when the following is bigger and you have more room to play, then you can play with other kinds of things.